Good morning. It is Saturday, July 16th, and this is Toby Tompkins with Toby Talk number 9. I am in Harlem, and I am actually um, across the street at my local neighborhood Starbucks, and I'm actually doing something today that I heard about that started with a group of activists in Seattle, and so I'm bringing it home, bringing it to Harlem, and encouraging everybody else to do it. When we go into Starbucks or other places where they call out your name when you make your drink, instead of putting your name out there, put Black Lives Matter and have them call that out just as a way of keeping our consciousness active around where we are in the world today, the humanity that we need to unlock, the mission and vision and the dream of a world that we have yet to realize where black people are full participants, where they wake up in safety and not in fear. So, Black Lives Matters. This is my $3 cup of coffee, and that's about the cheapest thing you can get in a Starbucks. But also, this helps me bring to focus the topic for Saturday that I want to engage you with for a few minutes. And that topic is, are you a virus or are you a vaccine? What do I mean? As a leader, we actually always, and I don't mean just leaders in the formal sense of a president or whatever, but as a person in the world, we're always making a difference whenever we show up. The question is, what kind of a difference are we making, and how are we operating in every moment of our lives? Sometimes we operate as a virus, which means that we actually bring into a situation something that is contagious. It spreads, it actually catches hold, and it becomes a collective consciousness. And we see this with celebrities, right, who introduce language and terms and ways of thinking and ways of dressing and behaving that go viral. And particularly with social media and technology today, the opportunity for us to be beautiful leaders is much more viral than it's ever been before. I'm amazed at how many times I've heard that, oh, she got hot sauce in her bag swag, which, is a phrase that didn't exist just even 2 months ago. And that's because of the creativity and the expression and the visibility of just one person now, arguably a celebrity. But we see trending as an example of the ways in which, through our words and our actions, we all have the potentiality of being viral. And that's a good thing, particularly when it's used to spread love, when it's used to spread compassion, when it's used to spread humanity, when it's used to not promote or provoke anti-black thinking or behaviors or rationales or beliefs, when it's used to not spread hate, racism or hatred or sexism or homophobia or anti-Muslim thoughts. Being a virus can be a beautiful thing. And that's what we're interested in here. We're interested in beautiful things. So I want you to think about, what is your possibility in every moment, just today, to be the virus, to actually spread beauty and spread love through your behaviors, through your actions. What is it that your presence is causing to happen in somebody else's possibility in this moment? Now, as a leader, we can also be the vaccine. And the vaccine is actually someone who holds a lived experience around a particular issue or circumstance that they can then help others experiencing that to become safe and secure against. So often we can show up as a vaccine in those moments when the rights or the perspectives or the voices of those people that are not being represented in the room, but for whom decisions are being made that impact them, You can be the vaccine in that room by offering or defending or protecting the perspective or the rights or the access or the availability of those who don't have those by your words, by your voice, by your lived experience, by your values. You can vaccinate what otherwise might be a consequential moment in the lives of people who are less fortunate, who have less privilege than you. So neither being a vaccine or a virus are a bad thing. They're actually wonderful things if you engage them from a lens of beauty. If the leadership that you bring into your personhood in the moment is one that allows for beauty and for love to flourish. You know, I'm so reminded of the powerful words of loving parents to children when they go into the world and experience something for the first time. And often parents who want their children to be successful and to be happy go into explaining to their child not necessarily why or what's wrong with whatever happened to them. I remember, for example, as a young child, I was 7 years old and I went to school, and the young boy behind me in the line when it was time to go to lunch told me that I needed to get to the back of the line because I was standing in the front of the line, because y'all know I like to eat, right? So when it's time to go to lunch, I'm in the front of the line. And he said, "Why are you standing there? You shouldn't be standing there. You're a nigger boy. You should be in the back of the line." And I had never heard that word. I didn't know what it meant. But I went quietly and curiously to the back of the line, and we went to lunch. And later that day I went home and I told my mom what had happened. And I remember because I was standing in the kitchen and she was at the stove leaning over a pot, stirring something to get ready for dinner. And when I asked her, "Mom, what is a nigger boy?" she dropped her spoon and she stopped what she was doing and she turned the fire down and she went to the kitchen table and she sat down and she said, "Why did you ask me that question?" And that was when I had to have our first conversation about whether I was going to be the virus or the vaccine. And in that moment, my mother taught me how to be a vaccine. And she went with me to school and she called a meeting with the principal. And she said to the principal, who was a white male because I was a black kid in a segregated school, and she said, "Tell him what you told me." And I told him that I had been called a nigger boy. And his name was Cobb, Mr. Cobb, I'll never forget this. And he said, "Well, my name is Mr. Cobb, and when I was a kid, people used to tease me and call me corn on the cob, and I didn't like it." And I looked at him and I said, "Yes, Mr. Cobb, I understand that. But being a corn on the cob is being called a vegetable. Being called a nigger is being told that you're not stupid, that you're stupid and that you're not worthy. And I know I am worthy and I am not stupid." I was 7 years old and I was using that moment to vaccinate, to not allow that belief or practice to move forward in his mind or in the minds of other kids in that class. I didn't even know what I was doing, but I thank my parents for putting me in the moment and showing me how to be a vaccination. So think about the way in which you can vaccinate or spread love just over the weekend in the kind words and deeds that you can choose over those moments where you could choose something less kind, less loving. That's my message for today. Hope you have a great weekend. Try and get out. It's a beautiful day. As you all know, this is all I can do. I love you very much. If you like this message and all of the other messages, please leave comments or press the little button that says "I like." And I'll, of course, always share with your family if you think there's anybody else who can benefit from this message. Take care. Love you guys. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.